Well, howdy again everyone, and today I'm taking a look at another in a series of fairly new Tamron lenses, the 70-210mm f4 DI VC USD. It competes with Canon and Nikon's 70-200mm f4 lenses, but gives you just a touch of extra zoom range and costs far less money, being about £650 here in the UK and $800 in the US. I'd like to thank Tamron's UK distributor for loaning me a copy of this lens for testing, although as usual this is a totally independent review. 70-200mm f4 lenses are very enjoyable telephoto zoom lenses to use, but they're not my own preferred choice of lens. I'd rather get a 70-300mm lens for the extra reach and sacrifice a bit of aperture. But a lot of other photographers would disagree, seeing these lenses as a smaller, lighter, cheaper alternative to a 70-200mm f2.8 lens, and that's a fair enough point of view, each to their own. The maximum aperture of f4 throughout the zoom range is a nice feature, particularly as you're zooming in, giving you more noticeably out-of-focus backgrounds and quicker shutter speeds. And the 70-210mm zoom range of this lens doesn't exactly make it a super zoom option, but it is an extremely useful focal range for landscape, portrait and event photography, among other uses. On an APS-C camera, you'll get a much tighter telephoto view, being the full frame equivalent of 112-336mm, and your depth of field will look deeper on APS-C too. And to help you get sharper still images and smoother handheld video footage, this lens features image stabilization, or VC as Tamron call it. Here's some handheld footage at 210mm without VC, and here it is turned on. It doesn't work complete wonders, but it is pretty efficient, and it works quietly once it's kicked in. However, I later came to discover that if you plug this lens into your computer using the Tamron tap-in console, available separately, you can adjust the image stabilization setting. Change it from standard to viewfinder image stabilization priority mode, but not the other option, for a considerable improvement. Here's the standard stabilization, and here it is in viewfinder priority mode. It's much more effective now for video and stills work. I'm really glad that I found that out just before I had to send this lens back to Tamron. Let's look at build quality then. The lens looks nicely designed, although it does feel slightly plasticky. It weighs 850 grams, under 2 pounds. According to Tamron, it's very well weather sealed, and there is also a weather sealing gasket around the metallic lens mount. The zoom ring is rubberized, it moves reasonably smoothly, but it's not damped. It works the opposite way to Canon zoom rings, and I don't think I'll ever quite get used to zoom rings on the front of a lens. For video makers, I can report that this lens is almost parfocal. The focus point doesn't really change as you zoom in and out. However, it does exhibit some moderate focus breathing. In this footage shot at f32 and 210mm, as I pull focus closer, the image zooms in, and as I focus outwards again, the image zooms out a little. The focus ring is also rubberized and turns the opposite way to Canon lenses, and quite smoothly, again, without being damped. It's reasonably precise, but I did notice just the tiniest bit of play when you change the direction you're turning it, which can be quite annoying when doing critical manual focusing at 210mm. Well, only mildly annoying really. You can turn that focus ring at any time, and it doesn't have hard stops. The autofocus motor is nice and quiet, making a gentle whooshing sound. It's not the fastest system I've ever seen though. Autofocus accuracy seemed to be quite good, but it seemed to miss occasionally at 210mm on the various cameras I tested with. The lens's filter diameter is 67mm wide, and it comes with quite a deep lens hood. It's possible to buy a tripod collar separately, albeit for a rather shocking $130 US. Other than that, the build quality is perfectly fine, if not being quite as tough as a Canon L lens, for instance. Alright then, image quality. I'll be testing on 3 different camera sensors once again. Feel free to skip ahead to the one most relevant for you by looking at a caption in the corner. Firstly, a lower resolution full frame camera, my 20 megapixel Canon 6D. At 70mm, the lens is really sharp in the middle with good contrast and also very good in the corners. Stopping down to f5.6 raises the quality even further from the corners and back into the middle, where the quality is now perfect. It stays this sharp down to f16. Let's zoom into 135mm, where in the middle, image quality is perfect straight from f4. It remains fantastic in the corners too, even stopping the aperture down to f11 or so. Finally, 210mm. Again, in the middle from f4, image quality is just about perfect. The corners are just average though. Stop down to f5.6 for a nice boost in sharpness and brightness, even though just a little colour fringing is visible now. Again, even down to f11 it stays about this sharp. So it's a really excellent performance on a 20 megapixel full frame camera, about as sharp as the last Canon L lens equivalent that I tested. Alright then, let's challenge the lens with a 42 megapixel full frame camera, a Sony a7R II. At 70mm, sharpness in the middle is excellent at f4 and good over in the corners with some visible chromatic aberration. Stop down to f5.6 for an improvement, and f8 and f11 are both really excellent, and so is f16 actually. Let's zoom into 135mm. At f4, the middle of the image is razor sharp, and the corners are also very sharp with no chromatic aberration. f5.6 is a touch better, and even if you stop down to f11, image quality there remains fantastic. Finally, 210mm. In the middle of the image at f4, sharpness is very good, but not quite perfect. The corners are noticeably softer, with some chromatic aberration, but they're not bad. Stop down to f5.6, f8, and finally f11 for tiny gradual improvements over in the corners, although the middle of the image is razor sharp straight from f5.6. Overall, there are no serious reservations here on the challenging 42 megapixel sensor. The image quality is consistently excellent, if shy of perfection. Finally, an APS-C camera, my 24 megapixel Canon EOS M3. At 70mm and f4, the middle of the image is just good, not amazingly sharp. The corners are a little soft. Stop down to f5.6 though for a dramatic improvement. The lens is now nice and sharp in the corners and very good back in the middle. It stays this sharp down to f8, although at f11 we start to see some softness from the effects of diffraction. Let's zoom in halfway to 135mm. Sharpness in the middle is great from f4, and corner sharpness is not too bad either. There are small improvements at f5.6 and f8, where we see a very sharp image with a touch of chromatic aberration creeping in. Let's zoom all the way in now to 210mm. At f4, we see just average resolution and contrast. The corners are a bit soft and colourful. Unfortunately, the image stays like this down to f8 in the corners, although back in the middle the image was nice and sharp from f5.6. So overall, the sharpness has been slightly dulled by the demanding APS-C sensor, and we are pushing against the lens's limits here. However, the performance is generally quite acceptable at f4 and nicely sharp from f5.6. Well, let's take a look at distortion and vignetting on a full frame camera. At 70mm we see just a hint of barrel distortion, nothing to really worry about. Vignetting is not too bad either, even at f4. Stop down to f5.6 to see full brightness in the corners. Zoom in to about 100mm and the distortion straightens out, and at 210mm we see some noticeable pincushion distortion. Vignetting is a bit stronger now at f4, but again at f5.6 it clears up. The lens can focus down to just under 90 centimeters, quite useful for shooting smaller subjects. The other good news is that close-up image quality is just as sharp as at normal distances, being excellent even from f4, although with a touch of purple fringing on highly contrasting areas, which, at f5.6, still sticks around. When it comes to working against bright lights, the lens gives an absolutely average performance here. Typical flaring and glaring is visible, but it's no worse than similar lenses in this class. Be sure to use that lens hood. Finally, bokeh. Deeply out of focus backgrounds look very nice and soft at f4. At more normal distances, it looks reasonably soft. Nothing special, but nothing distracting. Overall, if you're on the market for this kind of lens, then you can't really go wrong with the Tamron 70-210mm f4. There's plenty of good things to say about its optics, not least its convincing sharpness, and the build quality is perfectly fine as well, if not quite carved out of granite. Its value for money is certainly good, considering the cost of Canon, Nikon and Sony's equivalent lenses, so it definitely comes recommended.